Hello, family. Just got out of church, man, and had a heavy heart. And about these police shootings, man, it's not so much that the black community, the black race, uh, you know, when when you see things of this nature, and it has the potential to create anger and hatred. And it's not so much that, man, and I don't know if I'm speaking for everybody, but for me, it's more so your mind just can't wrap itself around someone shooting an unarmed person. I'm not talking about instances where a person was armed and it was clearly known that they were, that person was a threat to an officer's life. I'm talking about in situations where a person is unarmed, and most people won't be able to truly relate to this. Me myself being victimized at the hands of the police several times in my life. My perception has the potential to be off because I've experienced treatment that was not just, and it wasn't righteous, and it wasn't fair. And most people won't be able to understand this because unless you've been through something like this. And this goes for any situation in life, man, where you feel like you've been wronged at the hands of somebody else, on a level that could, ultimately you could lose your life over it or be thrown in jail, and locked up for a reason that you know that you should not be locked up for. And unfortunately, man, the biggest thing is, it's not that, when your mind doesn't have the ability to understand the level of evil that it takes to kill an unarmed person, you'll never understand because you're filled with so much love. You're filled with the love of Christ to a level to where your mind cannot understand the evil ability or that level of evilness within your thoughts. Your mind just doesn't have the ability to, conceive that level of evilness to where another person could kill an unarmed, innocent person over nothing. And this goes for anyone, man, that can shoot someone just because. There's no real rhyme or reason. There's no real threat. There's no real evidence. And it's like, and this is what it is, man. It's like you get caught between a rock and a hard place of, man, I'm filled. I have so much love in my heart. I have the love of Christ so much in me to the point where you don't understand it. And you have love for everyone. You have love for the police. They're human beings. You have love for everybody, black, white. It doesn't matter. It's irrelevant. And it just gets to a point where you just begin to hurt. I can remember the several times where the police put their hands on me and I didn't deserve it, or I got accused for something I didn't do. This is the worst feeling in the world, man. And when you see someone that looks like you, we try to make, from a spiritual perspective. But when you're a believer in Christ, you try to look at things objectively. But when that person looks like you, for whatever reason, man, it becomes personal. And it becomes even more personal when you know that this very person, this could have been you dead, shot in the street. And you just have to ask yourself, man, when does it end? You understand? I remember when an officer harassed me, jacked me up, bruised me. It's like sometimes you're like, man, this level of evil is crazy. And it doesn't make sense to a mind and a heart that's filled with love, man. That's filled with the love of God. It's filled with the love of Christ. Your mind can't wrap itself around it. And you just get to a place where you're just like, enough is enough. And like I said, unless you've been through something, you'll never understand. When you feel helpless, not knowing if your life is going to end in that moment, simply because you're afraid, and you're responding out of the propaganda, and a lot of it is true, man. You're responding from a position or a disposition of fear. And I believe that's what Ahmad did, man. He responded from a position of fear. Because here he was, an unarmed person, and you got two men roll up on you with shotguns. How are you going to respond, man? It's like fight or flight, man. Fight or flight kicks in, and then you just react. But it's just crazy to me, man. When you get filled with the love of Christ, you begin to lose perception of worldly ways, man. The ways of the world they begin to no longer make sense to you. And you get to a place where you love everyone, man. Because you realize that, nonetheless, regardless of, it's always about God, man. It's never about race. And you just realize that there's just one race. You don't look at color anymore. But then it's like you're torn because it's like, when does it end, man? When does it end? It just doesn't make sense. But anyway, family, man, just get filled with the love of Christ. At the end of the day, that's all that really matters. And he'll change your perception of no matter who you are, no matter what you look like, your perception in this realm, your perception on other people, it changes, man. All of the things that all of the evils that are in you, you'll be delivered from them. And that's just the bottom line. And you just see things in a whole different light. Nothing else matters, man, except for that greatest commandment. Love the Lord with all your heart, mind, soul, and strength, man, and your neighbor as yourself. And that's the vein that you begin to live in. That's the life that you begin to walk out. And all you see is brothers and sisters in Christ, the same way Jesus saw it. And I said it before, not biological, just you see the fruit. Police, man, they're called to protect, not to make you feel fearful or like something's gonna, jump off any second and you're not gonna be able to defend yourself. You don't have a weapon. They're just gonna shoot you, pretend they see something. It's just not good, man. And that level of evil, my mind will never be able to conceive it because my mind has never been in a dark place like that, to where I could even think to just shoot an innocent human being. If they're not threatening my life, if they don't have a weapon or something, where I can clearly see that this person is a threat to my life, my mind won't be able to ever wrap itself around that. But anyway, family, man, be blessed, man. Get filled with the love of God, man. Read his word, change, be delivered from all your evil ways, and become a better human being, man.